Hi, I'm Rahul Subramaniam. I'm the head of innovation at Virtasant. Innovation is really critical because that is what drives your products forward. Um, with technology changing so rapidly, it's really important to create this long-term vision for your product that you can go follow and get your customers excited about that vision as well. So unless you have innovation, you really aren't going to be able to do that. And so innovation is at the core of every product, every business. If you don't have that, you're going to get left behind in the race. Innovation has become easier now than ever before because the building blocks that you need to create innovation, the tooling that you need to create innovation is now available as commodity. Just a few years ago, you would have had to go create all of that stuff from scratch. And most innovation teams, like the IBMs of the world and the Bell Labs of the world, created a lot of that infrastructure themselves from scratch every time they wanted to do something new. Today, with the cloud providers, a lot of tech innovation building blocks are available right out of the box. Instead of having to invest phenomenal amounts of capital trying to bootstrap innovation, you've now got these cloud providers that allow you to innovate with these basic building blocks that are available as commodity infrastructure. So to give you an example of an innovation building block, you can take machine learning and AI today. It's kind of driving a lot of the innovation. But if you look at the foundations, a few years ago, you would have to have built everything from your data analytics, data cleansing, to your entire machine learning pipelines, to your neural nets yourself. Today, you can go to AWS services and pick one of many different layers or tools within those layers to actually go solve your machine learning problem. In a lot of cases, they even have things like AutoML, where you literally just provide the data and the systems are pre-built to produce the outcomes for you or the models for you. Right. So historically, innovation has been done in, a small subset of the data or on a small scale. And the typical challenge has always been to take that small scale innovation to a large scale enterprise or to a very large audience. Today, with these elastic services that are available from these cloud providers, it's really easy to just automatically tune up the scale because the same system operates at a small scale as well as a large scale, and it's elastic in nature. So from a consumption standpoint, you only pay for what you consume, but the system itself, the infrastructure itself, gives you that scalability from your small little experiment all the way up to millions or even billions of users, which is true cloud scale. These cloud services have become a game changer for innovation for a simple reason that they give you all the building blocks to put together your experiment very quickly and prove out your new idea. And once you've got your idea ready, in short order, you can take it to production. Now, historically, you've never been able to do that because you've had to build infrastructure for your experimentation. And once you proved out an idea, which took a while because iterations take time, you would have to build a completely different system for scale in production. And that takes tons of time. Now, the key for innovation is to take it to market as quickly as possible. And you can do that today with these cloud services, something that you couldn't do before. To give you an example of a building block that is incredibly valuable, historically, we've had to take data, and if you had to forecast any event or an occurrence of an event, we would have had to build machine learning models from scratch, which means looking at the data, cleansing the data, creating neural nets and the machine learning models around it, and doing all the hyperparameter tuning from scratch. Instead, today we have a service like AWS Forecast that allows us to take the data, which may be in tabular form in a CSV file, and literally just pass it to AWS Forecast. It does all the tuning for us based on a whole lot of learning that it's got built into its own native models. And we can get results in a matter of minutes as against weeks or months that it used to take us earlier on every experiment in the forecasting world. In the traditional model, doing this kind of forecasting would have taken us about a month, going from data all the way up to refined models. And today, we can literally get outcomes in a matter of minutes. So a common fear that a lot of folks have is that given the same building blocks in these cloud services, that all the innovation will look similar. But think of it like Lego blocks. If you gave the same Lego set to 3 kids, they're all going to come up with something different, something very creative, something completely tuned to their personality. And that is how you should look at innovation with cloud services as well. Every organization can look to leverage these building blocks in different ways and create their own innovation that solves the specific problem that their customers have. Having been in the innovation business for well over a decade, here are a few things that I've learned that help accelerate the innovation process. The first one is pick a narrowly scoped problem rather than an open-ended one. And the narrow scope really helps you focus on what is really important to go solve. The second tip that I would give everyone is create short experiments that will allow you to validate or disprove your assumptions and theories that you have, and set yourself a path via experimentation to the end goal of solving that narrowly focused problem. And the third tip, which is as important as the first two, is don't stay in the mindset that everything has to be invented by you right here. Try and find solutions out there or building blocks out there that can do the heavy lifting for you while you focus on the big picture, which is solving the core problem for your customer.